Halloween, everyone. In today's video, we're going to be slowly kicking off the Halloween season with a slightly spooky, but not really spooky, purple cat and gourds. I love this one. It's so soft, it's so pretty, it's very elegant, very autumn, not necessarily like full-blown Halloween, even though that's how we are definitely feeling around here. I hope you guys like it. Stay tuned for my typical 2022 Halloween preview that'll be coming so soon, where you'll see all the crazy stuff, or at least a hint at some of the crazy stuff. I hope you guys like that, and like I said, watch for the Halloween preview, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
I have an overlay of just a soft natural acrylic, so over the top of that I'm going to start using the colors Walk in the Park, Purple Hero, and Sun Stalker to do the first set of gourds on my thumbnail. So my thumbnail is my favorite one out of all the sets, or out of all the nails. It's got two different colors of gourds. It's got a blue toned one, which would be the Walk in the Park, and then it has this really bright rich orange color, which would be Sunstalker, which is from a couple collections from Madame Glam back. Otherwise, the majority of this color is inspired by the Wanderlust collection, which is the one from September. So the most of these colors are from that. Purple Hero is also from that one. That's what I'm going to use for the base of all of the cats. And now I'm going to mix the color Walk in the Park with white gel paint and Sunstalker with white gel paint. Alternatively, if you wanted it to be softer, you would use white, the perfect white gel polish and not white gel paint. But because I do want a little bit of a crispness in my lines, and because especially like the Walk in the Park and some of those colors are just naturally, they just lend themselves to that softness. If you want it to be a little bit more crisp, use gel paint to lighten the colors instead. And then I'm going to use the color Pink Liberty from the Wanderlust collection to be adding some highlights to my cat. Such a pretty, it says pink, but I would say it's like more of a light fuchsia. It's definitely a purple pink color. Very pretty, absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to mix Walk in the Park with black gel paint to be adding some shading to my greenish tealish gourd, and then the color Deep Burgundy to add some shading to the orange one. All of these little colors that I'm adding, all of this little shading, I'm going to highlight the middle of my pumpkin sections again. Everything, I'm going for soft. And so when you're going for soft, you want to use you want to tap the colors out. You want to create things in layers. You don't want to do anything that's a little too harsh. So on the orange gourd, just to blend out the color because the highlight was a little bit strong, I took and I mixed again the same combination of the Sunstalker with the perfect white or the white gel paint, but I made it a little heavier on the Sunstalker so that it was not quite so bright. And I added that right around the edges of my pumpkin, and then that deep burgundy right in the middle. I'm going to use the colors Keep Palm and Glam DC to be adding the stems to my pumpkins. The Keep Palm is also from a couple collections back, but the Glam DC is from the new one, and that's the kind of like a chestnut brown. And then using Keep Palm plus black gel paint and Glam DC plus black gel paint, I'm going to be adding a little bit of shading onto my stems. When you are trying to create a set and you want the colors to really go together, all you need to do to add different colors and shading usually is to just lighten and brighten them. So add a little bit of white, add a little bit of black, and you're going to get beautiful shades. They're going to blend together so well, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. Better than if you grabbed 60 colors of gel polish and didn't mix any at all. So don't be afraid to mix some paint. I added some more details to my cat. You'll see those colors again when we paint the bigger cat on the middle finger. And then with brown gel paint, I'm going to be adding a stem for the little berries and leaves. So to finish off this set, after I painted, first I did all of the gourds, and then I did all of the cats. And then I did all of these little extra leaves and berries here and there, just to kind of fill in the spaces, give it another layer, another textures, a couple more colors. So I used Deep Burgundy for my berries, and then I'm going to use the color Sundays, which is from the same collection as the Keep Palm and the Sunstalker. And we're going to be adding just some leaves going down the stem of that. Use more color. In fall, it's all about these rich colors, and so don't be afraid to mix it up. Maybe use colors that are atypical, like a purple cat. Use colors on your leaves that are maybe atypical, green gourds or blue gourds. Have fun with it. Don't be constricted by what is the normal thought. I added a little highlight on my leaves with some of the yellow, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the Sunstalker and add a little line on them just to have a little bit more detail. Now I'm going to show you the middle fingernail, which is going to be the one with the big cat on it, and I'm going to use the color Purple Hero, and I'm going to be painting my cat's face. This is not based off of any particular cat. It's not based off of any cartoon. It's just for some reason, I was just feeling purple cats. And so there we go. That has two coats on it now, and then I'm going to use Pink Liberty to add some highlighting to my purple cat. As I'm painting all of these little details, I am looking at different, cartoons and illustrations of cats and kind of taking inspiration from them, but just kind of have fun with it. When you're doing the highlights on the cat, use dabbing motions so that you have a slightly fur type of a texture. And now I'm going to use Keep Palm plus white gel paint, lightened a lot. It's a much more pastel version than what we used for like on the stems or for highlighting anything before. And I'm going to use the color Laos, and I'm going to be adding my cat's nose and inside the ears. That's actually a base coat, the Laos color. It's a base coat, but it was just the perfect level of pigment for inside the ears. I loved it, and I'm like, you know what? Even though it's a base coat, we're going with that. I mixed Laos and deep burgundy to add a shading color to the nose, Keep Palm plus white gel paint even lighter to highlight the middle of the eyes. And now using purple gel paint and deep burgundy, which that color turned out beautifully, I'm going to be adding some more sharp outlines and shading and details to my cat. Specifically around the eyes is where I'm going to start by doing the outlines. But then anywhere else where I feel like I want to do some definition, some outlines, some more precise hair texture, you can go through and do that. And then I'm not actually going to show you guys the other 3 nails necessarily in the video because it's basically the same thing over again, parts of a cat, parts of gourds, some leaves. If you have any questions about, anything specific on the other nails color combinations, you can certainly ask me, but because it's so repetitious, I figured these 2 nails gave you a really good start on the whole set. And, a little short and sweet today, but I really like this cat. I love how this cat turned out. I keep staring at him because he's so stinking cute. I'm going to mix Pink Liberty and white gel paint to be adding a highlighting color, another little layer of a highlight. This color I'm going to be using on the one side of the face. So when I was doing the shading and the highlighting, I put all of the darker color on one side of the cat, all the lighter color on the other side of the cat. That'll really bring it to life, give it so much, real shape that it'll make it look so much more 3-dimensional even though it's flat. Now I'm going to use purple gel paint and black gel paint, so it's a really dark purple, and I'm going to be adding my cat's irises. I didn't want anything to be black in this final design. I didn't want it to be straight black. I wanted everything to have a little bit more of a muted tone to it, so that's why we're going to be using that combination instead of typically you would use black for the iris of any creature. Fill in those, add a little white whiskers on each side of the face. And then after you have those little white whiskers, you can also put a couple little highlight dots for the pupils, or in the pupils on the cat's eyes. A couple little dots, make it look nice and reflective and shiny. And then just like we did on the thumbnail, we're going to be adding a couple little leaves. This time I'm not going to do any of the berries. I'm going to be doing 2 kinds of leaf, a yellow leaf similar to the one that was with the berries. So on that first stem, just adding those little yellow leaves going across. I don't know where everybody else is in the world, but I know for me, the leaves have really started to turn this past week, and I am equal parts excited for it because it's really pretty and horrified that all of a sudden the trees are going to be bare and we're going to have snow. But it is really pretty for the time being. And then I'll use Stalker for the leaf that is kind of by the cat's shoulder. And then I'm going to be adding my highlights and my lowlights for the yellow leaves, Sundays and Keep Palm. For the orange leaf, Sunstalker and Deep Burgundy are going to be my darker colors. So for the leaves around the cat's face, instead of keeping them just yellow, I added in a little bit of that green tone. I'm using the same colors again, just to darken them a little bit further, add a little bit more color. So I'm going to use more green and less yellow, more burgundy, less orange, kind of a thought. So just adjust the color a little bit. And then I'm going to finish them with a layer of no wipe top coat. I felt like these needed to be shiny for some reason. Usually I would go with matte, but they seemed like they were appropriate, nice and glossy and shiny. And there they are. They're so cute. I really just can't get over it. I think they're absolutely adorable. The thumbnail is probably my favorite. Like I said, I just love little cat ears sticking out in the corner. I hope you guys like this one as much as I do. Most of these colors are from the Madam Glam new Wanderlust collection, but they are all Madam Glam. And if you have any questions about any of the colors, they will all be listed in the description box below. There's a big list of them because I used all the different colors for all the different gourds. I love them. I hope you guys like them too, and I'll see you next time. Bye!